Do you think you have a pair of razor-sharp eyes, or are they about as blunt as a butter knife? If you want to find out once and for all, I've put together a series of fun tasks that'll push your peepers to the limit. So, can you pick up on hidden details or see straight through complex illusions? Just take this test and find out how good your eyes really are. The thing is, the tasks ahead involve a whole load of different colors, so it's probably best if we do a real quick test to make sure you're not colorblind first. I'll use a few questions from the Ishihara test for color deficiency, which is designed to pick up on any color vision handicaps you might have. All you need to do is tell me what number you see in the circle. Are you ready? What number can you see here? That's a 12. Now that I know you can count, let's move on. What number is in this circle? You should be able to see 74. However, if you saw a 21, you may have a degree of color blindness. Let's try another. What can you see here? You got 15, right? Well, if you saw 17, there's a chance you may have a color vision defect. But don't fret, let's try a few more. Here's the next one. That was 45. How about this next one? Sweet 16. Now, if you didn't see either of those, don't panic. We'll keep going just to be sure. So, what can you see here? If you have normal vision, you shouldn't have been able to see anything there, aside from a bunch of multicolored spots. But if you picked up the number 5 in all that colorful chaos, it could be that you have a color vision deficiency. Let's try one last one. You can stop squinting now because you shouldn't be able to see any numbers in that circle. But if you did manage to see number 45, it's possible that you suffer from color blindness. Now, I'm no optician, but if you did have problems with these plates, you might want to make an appointment with your local eye doctor, or at the very least, check the color balance on your monitors. But assuming you passed with flying colors, let's move on to the real test. There will be 8 different tasks, each with different stages of difficulty, ranging from easy on the eyes to superhuman sight. The first level of each stage might not seem too hard, but the further along you go, the more concentration you'll need. To pass a stage, you must be able to answer every question in it correctly, and for every stage you do pass, you'll score 1 point. But if you fail just once, you don't get that point. No pressure. First, let's flex those focal muscles. What can you see just below the watch screen? Here's a clue. One is a big red rectangle. I'm talking about the like and subscribe buttons. Duh. Prove to me you can see them by giving them a click. Okay, you got me. This isn't a real test. However, if you do like interactive content that'll test your skills and senses, like this video and subscribe to Be Amazed for more top-tier entertainment. Now, let's get started. Color count. This is where the real challenge begins. For this task, all you need to do is pick out one of the 10 colors that's different from the rest. It may sound simple, but there are 4 stages, which will gradually get harder and harder. And remember to keep an eye on the timer, as you'll only have 6 seconds to find the odd one out. Are you ready? Let's start with the super easy stage 1. Number 8. That was easy, right? What's next? That'd be the bright blue number 3. Great job! Number 5, looking fly. That's obviously number 6, but are you ready for the final image? Did you score that 4? Nice job. If you got all of those, give yourself a point. Heads up, here comes the medium difficulty stage. Number 1, I'm on a roll here. Lucky number 7. What's next? Did you get number 4 as well? Great job! Number 6, so easy. But what's the final image going to be? That's number 10. Did you get all 5 of those? Then pop another point onto your current score. Alright, let's see just how hard this next stage is. Nice try, number 10. Phew, I almost missed that one. Wait, that was number 9? Is anyone else starting to struggle? Was that number 1? Jeez, can we go back a stage? What do you think? Number 8? Oh yeah, me too, totally. I could have sworn they were all the same, but that's clearly number 3. Speaking of which, did you get everything right in stage 3? If you did, give yourself a point. Now it's time for the final super hard stage. You're going to want to wipe that sweat out of your eyes. Did any of you superhumans get number 10? I sure couldn't. Please be number 6? Ah, so close. Number 7 is ever so slightly lighter. I was nowhere near number 3. How about you? They all look the same! I would have never guessed it was number 5. Okay, last one. That number 2 has left me feeling blue. Well, if you didn't get a point for that last stage, like me, don't feel too bad. But did your superhuman peepers have better luck? Balls to the wall. Take a look at this image. As you can see, the balls here are 3 different colors: red, blue, and green. But one of them is an imposter. It may look green thanks to those green lines, but that ball is actually beige. This amazing effect is called the Munker illusion, which occurs when your perception of one color is changed by the surrounding colors. So, let's find out if your sharp eyes can see straight through this illusion. I've hidden an odd-colored ball amongst red, blue, and green ones in the images of the next 3 stages. Can you spot the odd ball out in just 5 seconds? Let's start off easy. Did this ball trick you into thinking it was green? Aha! Those red lines aren't fooling anyone. That's another one pretending to be red. Did you catch all of those oddballs? Then give yourself a point. Now, stage 2 is going to get a little trickier. Are you ready? That gray ball sticks out like a sore thumb. What's next? That was tough, but the beige ball in the corner just didn't look right. Ooh, I almost missed that orange intruder. But if you caught it, along with the 2 others in this stage, give yourself another point. Now it's time to tackle the final stage. Have you got your head in the game? Then let's go. Whoa, there are so many balls in so little time. But that bottom beige ball was just slightly too bright. It's another beige ball pretending to be green. But look sharp, it's time for the final image. Oh no, I thought it was one of the blue balls, not the red. Well, I may have fallen at the final hurdle, but if you manage to clear that stage like a real baller, then award yourself another prestigious point. Animal Instincts. In this task, you'll have 6 seconds to work out which animals are hidden in the pictures. But don't worry, they won't be anything too exotic. There will be 3 stages, meaning there's a total of 3 points up for grabs. Are your eagle eyes ready? Let's go. Looks like there's an elephant in the room. What's next? Aw, what a cute bunny! It's a dog. I had one like that once. That's a turtle, or is that a tortoise? I could never tell. A hippo? Oops, I thought it was a pig. If you manage to get all of those, then treat yourself to another point. Up next, in stage 2, they're going to be more difficult to spot. So, what's lurking inside this next image? That's an octopus. I'll be lenient this time and accept squid as an answer as well. Another elephant, although from its size, this one must be a baby. Did you catch that camel? That monkey was so well hidden. Now I know why they call it monkey business. That dog was so difficult to find. Bad dog. Now we're really going to take a walk on the wild side. This time, see how many animals you can spot hiding in the frame. You just need the number, but you can pat yourself on the back if you can get the animal right as well. This might get tricky, so I'll add another second onto the timer for you guys. That's 7 seconds. Aren't I generous? Now, are you ready? Let's go! Did you spot all 4 rabbits? Is that, 4 horses? Nay, it's 5. Three camels? I didn't even see that little one. Four wolves. That's a lot, but I guess they do hunt in packs. There were 4 pigs. Well, I failed to bring home the bacon in that stage. But how did you get on? Remember to give yourself a point for each stage you cleared. Now let's get out of this zoo and move on to the next level. Crunching the numbers. Now we're going to get mathematical. Although I won't make you do any boring sums. You just need to find the 3 numbers hidden on the screen. You must guess all the numbers in each image correctly, but you'll only have 5 seconds to find them all. That's what you call quick math. So, are you ready for stage 1? Here we go. That's a 5, a 7, and a 2. Next. Four, 6, 4. Am I right? Yes. That'd be a 9, 8, and a 2. That 8 nearly had me. I thought it was a 3. If you look closely, you can see that's a 1, 8, and a 3. That's a 7, a 9, and a 6. And that's the first stage over. Did you get a point? Great! Let's crank up the difficulty and dive into stage 2. Could you make out the 8, 4, and 6? That's a 4, 7, and a 5. What's next? A sneaky 6, 1, and a 3 there. That's 5, 2, and 8. Okay, last one. There's a 1, an 8, and a 9, and that's stage 2 complete. Great job! Don't forget to give yourself a point if you got all of those right, because we're about to head into the final and hardest stage. Ready? Here we go. That's 3, 0, and 6, right? Great! That's tough, but it's a 5, 9, and 1. What's next? Is that 4, 5, 5 or 4, 3, 3? Neither. It was 4, 5, 3. Whoa, this is getting hard. There were numbers in there? I couldn't see the 8, 2, or 5. Did your beady eyes see the 2, 5, and 5? Well, I gave myself a headache trying to search through all that static. But if you managed to score 3 points by successfully clearing out each one of those stages, give yourself an A+ for effort. Although I think everyone else probably needs an aspirin right about now. Word games. This next level is really simple. All you have to do is find the words that are hidden in the pictures. You'll have just 5 seconds, so use them wisely. Are you ready for stage 1? Let's start off easy. It says tree. Glad we got to the root of this picture. What's next? Well, isn't that neat? Oh, it was rat, not bat. So close. Look, it says book. What's next? Lemon? On that shade of green, surely it should have said lime. Well, if that's left you feeling bitter, then let's move on to stage 2. Ready? Glass, right? I almost couldn't see through this image. Did you spot house as well? Great job! Anyone else see this movie? Whoa, roar? I thought it said road. Okay, last one. Did that say night? Well, I was left in the dark and couldn't see anything. So stage 2 was clearly too much for my eyes. However, this third stage is going to get even harder. So I'll add an extra 2 seconds onto the timer for you to make it fair. How does 7 seconds sound? There will be multiple words in each picture, so you'll need to spot them all if you want that precious point. Are you ready? Tree and eagle. That wasn't so hard. What's next? So that's knight, sphere, and eagle again. That eagle is really getting some good airtime. Roar, camera, and I thought that said hat, not rat. There goes my point. shoe, Nile, book, house, and carrot. Wow, could you fit any more words in that image? Whoa, there were 6 words that time. Lass, cook, parade, lemon, pin, and eagle. I only spotted lass and cook. Guess I need to get back in the kitchen. But if your sharp eyes managed to pick up all of the elusive words in that strenuous stage, give yourself another hard-earned point. Line them up. For this next level, let's see just how well your eyes measure up. Just take a look at this image and tell me which of the yellow lines looks longer. The top line does, right? Surprise! They're both the same length. The top line looks longer because the background pattern makes it appear further away, so it seems bigger in contrast to the one at the bottom. This is called the Ponzo illusion, and now that you know how it works, I'm going to test how well you can see past it. All you have to do in the next 3 stages is guess if the yellow lines are different lengths to one another or whether they're the same length. Are you ready? Let's go! Well, those are obviously the same. They're practically twins. That bottom one may look shorter, but they're the same size. What's next? The difference is tiny, but that top bar is shorter than the bottom. Okay, here's the final image for stage 1. These 2 lines are definitely different. That's 1 point for me. Did you get one as well? Even if you didn't, you can still score one in the next stage, so don't give up. Are you ready? A tricky start, but when you line them up, those are clearly the same. What's next? And that's the same again. Will it be different this time? Same again. Anyone else feel like they're at a bar? I thought they looked different, but they're the same again. I guess I was seeing double. Well, that was more difficult than stage 1, so I wonder how tough stage 3 is going to be. Are you ready? Let's begin. Now, this is a close call, but they're different. Those extra lines made it so hard. I couldn't tell they were the same length. I think they're different, but of course I'm wrong. Here comes the final image. They're the same again. Whoa, I was squinting so hard during that task, I think I gave myself wrinkles. And I only got 1 point. But did you manage to score all 3? Hopefully, your score wasn't parallel to mine. Strawberry test. Take a look at this delicious strawberry tart. Before you start drooling, what color do you think those strawberries are? They look red, right? Wrong. You might expect them to be red, but this image contains no red pixels whatsoever. So those juicy red strawberries are actually gray. You experience the illusion of red because your brain, in part, processes the color of objects by using surrounding colors as a reference. Because the blue filter is the opposite of red on the color spectrum, your brain automatically sees red even when there shouldn't be any. Now that you know how it works, let's test if your eyes can outsmart your belly. Coming up are some more images with strawberries that may or may not be the color you think they are. And remember, you'll have to guess all 10 of them right to get a point. Ready? Here we go. Okay, we're starting off easy. Those were obviously gray. But what about these berries? They may look like blue strawberries, but they're also gray. Okay, what about these? So if you said blue, you're right. Those looked way too blue to be an illusion. But how about these? Oh, wait, they were actually green. Do I need to take that color blindness test again? I thought they were purple. Just how bad are my eyes? Those are definitely neon yellow. I wonder if eating one would turn you into a radioactive strawberry superhero. I could have sworn they were green. Did anyone else think so? Well, they're not neon, and they're not yellow either. Those aren't blue? Why do my eyes hate me? Well, let's see if we can get this last one right. Ready? I said gray, but there's some yellow pixels in there. Well, those forbidden strawberries just cost me another point. At the rate I'm going, even Stevie Wonder will have a better score than me. Hopefully I can recover some points in the final task. Behind bars. This is the last task, so let's make it count. All you need to do is figure out what is hiding behind the bars in just 5 seconds. So, let's start off with some hidden words to see if you can read between the lines. Are you ready? Be amazed. That's about as close as I'll ever get to doing a face reveal. That says plain. Did you see that? Or were you just winging it? Injustice. Ironically, that sums up how I feel about my score right now. Brilliant. Just like this video. What's next? Nothing. Wait, nothing at all, or the word nothing? The latter, obviously. Man, this is getting confusing. Fortunately, that stage is over. If you got them all, treat yourself to another point. Now, are you ready for stage 2? This time, you'll need to identify the picture hidden behind the bars. Are you ready? That's the Apple logo. Those ears are a huge giveaway. That's everyone's favorite mouse, Mickey. Those big black eyes could only belong to a panda. Did you get that too? Is that a big, juicy orange? Close. It's Donald Trump. That's one cool-looking cat. If you got all those, remember to tally up another point to your score. Now, the final stage of this task will be slightly different. There will be a ball hidden behind the bars in different areas of the screen. It'll vary in size and location, but if you can spot it in each image, you'll be able to claim that phenomenal final point. You've got 5 sweet seconds, so keep your eyes on the prize. Here we go. It's just there on the right. Where will it go next? I just spotted it in the top left corner. Jeez, this is getting hard. It was hiding down at the bottom, but all I could see was stripes. Hold up, it was right in the center? No way. Looks like that elusive sphere was hiding on the left. Needless to say, I didn't get a point. Are you in the pointless club with me, or could those bars not hold you back? And now, drum roll please. It's time for the results. there was a grand total of 23 points you could have scored. So, how well did you do? If you only got between 0 and 10 points, you may have a low score, but you're definitely not alone. About 20% of people that take this test can't clear more than half the stages. Maybe you just need to readjust your screen's color settings, or failing that, get glasses. If you scored between 10 and 15 points, then you joined the 40% of people who passed with this very respectable average. You certainly know your colors from your shapes, although you might want to pay closer attention to the details next time. Next up, with just a few points more, we have the elite-eyed 15 to 20 point category. Not much gets past you, or the 40% of people who scored similarly to you. But it's those tiny details that catch you off guard, so remember to double-check your shoelaces before you head out. You're welcome. And finally, if you scored between 20 or 23 points, you're probably seeing through time and space right now. Of everyone who took this eye test before it hit the internet, not one single person could reach these god-tier scores. Did you manage to score over 20? And who else scored 10 just like me? Let me know in the comments down below. I wonder who has the clearest vision out of all the Be Amazed fans. Thanks for playing along.